Welcome all to the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun at Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how fantastic shafts are in Toyotas, giggity, then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and germs, my name is Tyler, and joining me back in the studio, I don't know if I've seen his face in like a month, is Mr. Jimmy Jett.
Oh, yeah.
Studio audience is happy to see you back.
I'm happy to be back. Mm-hmm. Happy to be out of the bubble.
Yeah. Mr. Bubble Boy.
Yeah, I'm actually allowed to go out in public again. Well, I mean, I was always allowed to go out, I guess, but I've opened my own doors to go out in public. That cute little new anklet you got says you're not supposed to be going out in public. How'd you get that? Let me tell you about this time down in Carmel.
Oh, man.
Just kidding.
Yeah. No, man. Yeah, seriously, welcome back. We had a lot of... I had a couple people reach out to me going, I didn't even realize you guys weren't face to face in the studio anymore.
Oh, really?
And I was like, yep, that's that's the new software. So
it's pretty amazing.
It is pretty cool. Yeah.
I actually got to use it with Austin, doing the interview for last Monday, because I'm not usually the one running the software. Okay. I've normally been, when we were doing ours, when we were doing the last few episodes, I was usually just invited to do it. So I got to see all the operator side for once, and I was like, ooh, this could be fun. There's a lot of options and opportunities on that. So it's really kind of neat.
Yep.
It's great software. We've been using it for a while, and then I was just listening to the Toyota Garage podcast with, I'm going to say his name again, is Josh and Riley.
Perfect.
Which it was funny because I was listening to the D-Mill episode, and I found out that I quoted their names wrong, which I just did again on purpose.
Gotcha. It's like Rob and Ryan.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, over at Stellarbuilt.
Yeah.
Ryan over there. So anyways, D-Mill, like the first 20 minutes of the D-Mill episode is him talking about Riverside.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was kind of funny because he was like, I think they haven't said it yet, but I'm pretty sure that Wheeling Wine and Whiskey and the Snail Boys are using Riverside. And I'm like, yep, yes, we are. And so, we sent them an invitation to test it.
Which Wheeling Wine and Whiskey let the cat out of the bag on that one.
They did?
Yeah. They were talking about Studio R and being in Studio R and everything. And then Chris says, Riverside is great. It's this great new software that the Snail Boys are using, blah, blah. And I was like, you guys ruined it.
Right.
You ruined the illusion.
Yeah. Well, I think we said it on like 2 or 3 episodes.
That doesn't matter. I just want to give them shit.
Got it. Okay, yeah. They screwed it.
God dang it, you guys.
So I sent an invite to the Total Garage podcast because I'm pretty sure they record remotely every single time also.
Okay.
Like they're never together. Like they live in different places in the country. And so I think it gives them 30 days free trial.
Yep.
And then we also sent it to Ian over at Wheel Every Weekend.
Oh, nice. Is he going to start podcasting again?
They've released two episodes, I think. They did a Suzuki on the Rubicon episode.
Okay.
Since they just came up over 4th of July. So they've recorded
I didn't know they were up here 4th of July.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. I wasn't here.
Jerks.
I was gone. But otherwise I would have tried to meet up with them. But so they've released an episode since that trip in recent here. So I don't know if they're going to do more, but
I want to hear the feedback of how the electric assist steering did in the Suzuki.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't know they did that.
They took an electric steering box, I guess, out of something. I don't remember what they pulled it out of. But they attached it to the steering shaft in the Suzuki. Oh. Instead of doing hydro assist or anything, it's an electric assist. And so Brittany can do one finger turning with the Samurai. Oh, cool. Sitting in their driveway with the electric assist. So I was curious. I wanted to know how that worked out on the Rubicon because I would really love to do that on the next build rather than running hydro lines everywhere.
Right. And popping your line and spewing fluid all over the trail.
Yeah.
And the diapers that we threw out. Yeah. That would be interesting. I wonder, we'll have to listen to the episode. Maybe it's in there. Or we'll just message them.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll talk to Ian. So Ian is looking at starting up with Riverside now.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
it is really cool. If anybody does podcasting and you're doing remote interviews or just remote podcasting where you're not face to face with your co-hosts, beautiful software.
Yes.
It's really freaking cool. So
Jake over at
State Farm,
the Total Off-Road Podcast.
Yeah.
I mean Josh. He said that he was looking into it, but then he was also looking at, I think Audacity does something.
Oh, really?
Or Audacity, one of those. There's so many of those Audacities that are really close named, but his was like it only records for 30 minutes.
Yeah,
and so
that doesn't work.
And what's really cool, sticking on the Riverside thing, is if and when we ever decide to really start up the YouTube thing again, it also records video instead of just audio.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and it's really neat the way it does everything. Really, it's really well thought out. They have apps now. They just released an app, and that's another reason why we went with Riverside is because they had the app in development when we were doing it, whereas nobody else does yet. So anyways, cool, really neat little piece of software. So highly recommended for anybody doing audio or YouTube interviews. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So moving on off-road topics.
Yeah.
Or some housekeeping.
Cool. Yep. We have a giveaway going on this month, a couple more days for the Spartan rope.
Yeah, I guess 2 or 3 days or
2 or 3 more days. So if you guys want to get in for a kinetic rope from Spartan Ropes, you can do that. You've got to be signed up over on irate4x4.com. Just go into the Snail Squad forum, and then the payment options are there under the Snail Squad. Not really the Snail Squad, the Snail Trail 4x4 forum, because the Snail Squad is the private one that you get access to once you've paid up. So make sure you guys go over there. You have until the end of the month, July 31st.
I looked it up on the last episode.
Good. Yeah, July 31st is the last day you guys have for that.
But Tyler would probably say something like 37.
It's true. So check that out. We do have, we're shipping out some prizes right now to all the previous winners for last month's tool month. So be on the lookout in your DMs, hopefully not your BMs, Ben Hayward. And for contact information about how to get you your prizes. Let's see. I do want. Can I just expand on that a little bit? Sure.
I have actually had a few of the winners reach out to me and ask if we've shipped them, if we have tracking of it yet. Most everything has not been shipped as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know. But this week, I think we're really pushing, since we're in the studio, we're here this week, we're really pushing on trying to get everything shipped out this week, if not early next week. Yep. So, just be aware, keep your eyes on your emails, and shipping notice will probably be pointed in your direction. So
cool.
I think we said that July was going to be a crazy month, and it's becoming more crazy than we anticipated, especially with me not being able to get out for a while. Just bear with us for a second, but your prizes are coming.
Yep, they are. So let's see. The last thing we have to kind of talk about, I think, for housekeeping stuff, well, maybe, is we hit 400 reviews.
We did.
Yay. Yeah. So we did a drawing. So we did the random number generator, good old RNG from Google.
We're actually 404.
We're at 404 right now. Yep.
Unimog axles.
Yeah, the Unimog.
For episode 404, we should have Austin back on and Joe back on, and we should just talk about portals.
That would be fun.
That would be cool.
I'd be down. So you guys get ready for episode 404. You're hearing it, you guys. Let's see. On your last episode with Austin, Joe from Carnage ended up posting on the website saying Unimog episode. He got all excited.
His name came up a few times.
Nice. Yeah, it's funny. Joe freaking we end up being like near the same locations a lot, and we can't get our schedules to match to meet up.
No.
It's pretty funny.
Yes, that's sad.
I know. So anyways, Joe, eventually here, we're gonna meet up and do some wheeling and play hide a rock on each other. So
yeah, just if we follow Joe, we have to be like 3 car lengths back.
Yes. Right.
So he can't hide a rock on us.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think we go slower. We can go slower than he can. So theoretically, I don't think he can slow down slow enough to really play hide a rock on us, but we can hide a rock on him.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know if we could because he has a lot more ground clearance.
Because he can drive straight over the rocks that we have to go drive, put a tire on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Anyway, so we had 404
yes,
reviews.
I forgot what we were talking about.
So 4 people
didn't make it.
Yep,
didn't make it in time. But you're in there for the 450.
Yes.
So we did a RNG on Google for 1 through 400. Number 368 came up. So we counted backwards from 404 to 368.
Well, from 400, right?
Well, technically 400, but yeah, I went, we started at the top.
You started at 404
and worked our way backwards.
Counted back from, yes, right.
So
I follow you now.
Yeah. So down to 368, and we had a winner.
We did.
And thank you. I'm going to say huge shout out to this person because their iTunes name, account name is the same as their Instagram name.
Right.
And their Instagram profile has 2 pictures on it. 2.
Yeah.
What are they, Jimmy?
No profile photo of this person.
Yeah, nope.
Both of the photos, all 2 of the photos are pictures of Snail Trail 4x4 stickers.
Yes. So I think we found the right person.
I think so.
I don't think it's going to be like 6-string trucker where we're going to have 6-string trucker and Cletus calling in and Shirley.
Yeah.
So
well, and I'm excited to see post number 3 of more Snail Trail swag
right
on his profile.
Yes. So who was our winner?
It was it Matt loves garlic? Mart loves garlic.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the winning review is from Mart Loves Garlic for the 1 through 400 swag giveaway. And it says, real deal, 5 stars. Best Toyota podcast with a lot of exclamation points. Just listened to episode 269. Great diverse bunch of knuckleheads on there. I really enjoyed listening to their various stories. Once again, you guys have knocked it out of the park.
Thank you.
It says he's in Canada. So we'll figure that one out.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. What was episode 269?
I don't remember.
Let's say he said all the diverse knuckleheads. Harbor Freight with Max, Kelly, and Nate. That was the one we did down at Hammers.
Oh, fun.
With Max Powell and Nate and Kelly.
Yeah.
From Muddy Beards. So anyways, yeah, man. Fun episode there. Congrats to Mart Loves Garlic. We'll reach out to you on the IGs to figure out how to get you some swag up into Canada. We need to make a trade for maple whiskey. How's that?
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to go on record for saying I love garlic too.
I do too.
Yes.
I don't remember what I made the other day, but I made something and put way too much garlic on it. And I was like, this is almost borderline, but it's amazing.
Right. Every time I throw a massive amounts of garlic into whatever I'm cooking, and the assistant goes, that's too much. I'm like, well, I'm not a vampire. So.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, so congrats, Mart Loves Garlic. We'll get in contact with you here. Let's see, what else do we got going on? Oh, we have that box over there.
We have that box.
Why don't you go ahead and open that box? So that is a box of donated items from Rubicon Trail Foundation.
Okay. Donated. Oh, this is the one that's donated from Rubicon Trail Foundation that we might be using for giveaway items?
Exactly, yep.
Ooh. Oh, what is it? It's a fire extinguishing spray and retardant.
Mm-hmm.
Terraclone?
Terraclone? Yep. I haven't looked and seen what...
Fire.
Yep. They're essentially little fire extinguishers. So they're like single-use fire extinguishers.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's like a spray bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Discharge time, 28 seconds.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds... Never mind.
Range of 3 to 6 feet.
Again. Yeah. Sounds familiar.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Gross weight, 15 ounces.
And that's a little much.
Yeah.
So 1 pound or just under a pound?
Just under a pound.
Yeah.
For use for temperatures of 32 to 104.
Temperatures?
Temperatures
Celsius?
for use.
Temperatures for use Celsius?
Oh, Fahrenheit.
What?
I think it means
the ambient temperature.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, that doesn't make any. That's not going to put our fires out.
Yeah, exactly. But that's cool. We got there's 8. We got 12.
12 of them. Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a well needed tool right now going into fire season.
Yeah. Fire season is definitely kicked off here in Northern California, and it's kind of interesting. Everything was kind of being nice and relaxed, and all of a sudden everything hit all within the same couple of days.
Kind of, yeah. Seems like it.
And then we've had a thunderstorms rolling in yesterday and today, which have caused some lightning strikes out there. And we know a couple people that are close to a burning area right now that got hit by some lightning strikes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's weird out there right now. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the Tahoe National Forest is closed for fires. Is it Tahoe? Yeah, Tahoe.
No fires at all, or
no fire? It's closed.
Is it just the stage 1 of restrictions?
Stage 1.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
No fires outside of designated campgrounds.
Yep. Yeah. So there's different levels of fire restrictions, right? The first, stage 0 is no restrictions really. You can have fires in dispersed camping. Just make a rock ring. Be responsible for it. Put them out, please. And stage 1 is essentially no more dispersed fires. You can still have a campfire, but it has to be in a designated campground with a campground provided fire ring.
Correct.
And then stage 3 is no fires at all, but you can still use propane fires that have a valve on it that you can close and shut off.
Is that 3 or 2? Because you skipped 2.
That would be 2. Sorry, that's the next level. Yeah. Well. Yeah, that's the next level. And then the next level after that is no fires at all. No propane, nothing. Which also means no welding on the trail. So it's that's the most restrictive stage. Well, I guess the second most restrictive. The most restrictive stage is they shut everything down.
Yeah, they
don't even let you. Yeah, everything's closed. You can't even go out anymore. And we've hit that the past 2 years in a row, which is really frustrating. But there's been talks this year of them taking, what was that, stage 3, where they shut off everything but allow you to still go out. And they're talking about allowing propane stoves in stage 3 this year, but no propane fire pits.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So there's like a 2.5.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. So there's talks about it. That hasn't been confirmed yet. That's just some of the rumors I've been hearing about, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we are officially, and usually once one forest goes and starts hitting the first level of fire restrictions, everybody else starts following.
Yeah, snowball.
So,
snowball and fire season.
Yeah. So we're hitting that point where if you guys are going to go out camping at all in California, just check in with wherever you're going, whether it's BLM, whether it's a national forest, whether it's a state forest, whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, just check in with the land managing organization to see what the fire restrictions are, and please follow them right now. So
yeah. So to my knowledge, at this current point in time, which is Tuesday at like 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Tuesday, the 26th. The only restriction is stage 1 on Tahoe National Forest.
Yeah, which was surprising to me because typically El Dorado National Forest is usually like the first one to kick in and start fire restrictions, and everybody else snowballs from there. Right. So when Tahoe beat him to the punch, I was like, oh, that was interesting.
Way to go, Tahoe.
Yeah.
Way to screw everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that Tahoe National Forest, for the most part, there's a lot of trails and stuff out that way, but it really affects the Fordyce Trail. Mm-hmm. So if you're on the Fordyce Trail, you can't have a campfire.
No campfires, yeah.
Unless you're at Meadow Lake Campground and in a designated camp spot with a designated fire ring. Mm-hmm. That's the only place.
Yeah, and I think and Ben Hayward would actually be able to clarify this. What is the Pierce OHV?
Yes.
I think there's designated campfire rings in the Pierce OHV camping area.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Okay, so that might be
another option.
Well, there's definitely other designated campgrounds in the Tahoe National Forest that probably allow it.
Yes.
I was just talking about the Fordyce Trail. If you're on the trail, you can't have a campfire.
True. Yep. So, cool. Fire restrictions. They're starting to hit. Please pay attention. It is dry out there, and there's still a shit ton of fuel out there on the ground. So if any fires, embers kick up, lightning strikes, whatever it is, shit goes up very quickly, as we're seeing at the Oak Fire down near Yosemite.
Yes.
So
carry a fire extinguisher with you.
Yes. Multiples. So let's see. There's that. I wanted to give a quick update on side-by-sides.
Oh, okay.
Golf carts.
Did you get one?
No.
Oh.
But I did get invited to sit in on a meeting with I want to say he was the head of the California State Parks.
Oh.
And Corva and a couple of there was 7-8 people on the meeting that are all like heads of these entities.
Wow.
And the whole meeting is about side-by-sides. The state is going to come down hard on side-by-sides very soon.
Oh, really?
Yes, unless side-by-side owners can pull their shit together. So, and the leading incident that kind of sparked off and was really I don't want to sparked it off. It was the straw that broke the camel's back.
There you go. You got it.
Thank you. Was that incident down in, was it Glamis?
I don't know.
It was either Glamis or the other one down there. The other
Ocotillo Wells.
I think it was Ocotillo. Glamis or Ocotillo, one or the other. But a couple of kids got hit by a side-by-side and it killed them.
Oh.
It was like an 8 and a 9-year-old, 9 and 10-year-old, something like that.
Bummer.
And it was a hit and run driver, and the hood came off of the side-by-side. And so the guy eventually turned himself in after it was a big 3 weeks of people trying to hunt this guy down. But that incident triggered the state now to be like, okay, there's a big problem with side-by-sides and we need to fix it because side-by-side owners just can't pull their shit together.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm just putting it out there. If side-by-side owners do not start organizing and creating clubs where they can help educate each other, similar to what the off-road, the 4x4 community has done, the state is coming down hard and they're looking at very extreme actions on side-by-side owners.
Wow. Okay.
So
that's interesting.
I'm not going to get into any of the details about what came up in that meeting, about what some of the ideas that the state is thinking about. But it's hitting a crux where side-by-side owners need to start organizing and getting into groups where you guys are helping to educate each other about trail etiquette. Because if you don't, the state they're coming down hard. So,
wow.
Anyways, just wanted to help put that out there.
Yeah, throw that out there to any side-by-side owners that could start something and help protect your guys' hobby.
Yep, exactly. Because let's face it, if we can police ourselves, it's always a much better option than making the government entities get involved because we can't be responsible, right? So if anybody out there is a side-by-side owner and you have some sway or pull with the side-by-side communities, you might want to start looking at doing something. Otherwise, the state is going to, and you're not going to like it.
Is the state, you don't have to go into the details because you're probably not really allowed to talk about things, but it seems like I would hope that the state would contact some sort of side-by-side community and see if they could do something about it first.
Well, that's the problem is there's not really any side-by-side communities. That's the big problem, right? It's side-by-sides seem to be a hobby where it's individuals going out and just ripping through whatever trail system by themselves.
Right.
Or with a group of maybe 2 or 3 friends or family oriented rather than groups like the 4x4 community has done and created clubs and really was kicked off from Cal 4.
Right.
So
yeah, but I would say that in the mass majority of the off-roading that happens is not a club run, right? It's friends going out and going wheeling.
Yes and no.
There definitely are club runs, but I would say that more people are hitting the Rubicon with a bunch of friends and going wheeling than a club event run.
Yes, now, I would agree to that.
Friends might come from the club, right? But it's not a club event thing. So I think that I'm just stating that, I think there's a lot more off-roaders that are off-roading than club event runs, where side-by-sides need to band together and create clubs, but you can still do your friend runs.
Yes.
You just need to figure out, there needs to be a point where there needs to be group entities that are sort of overseeing what the side-by-side community is doing.
Yeah, and that's really, I don't want to say, you don't need to be and create clubs or anything like that. It's just the club structure works really well because you get people who are old timers, quote unquote, in the club that get to mentor newbies coming into the sport. Whereas the side-by-side, it seems like the side-by-side community is just 90% newbies that are coming in, and they just they've never thought about trail etiquette. They've never thought about the trail systems and the fights that the 4x4 community has gone through to keep the trails open. They don't understand adopt a trail work and the importance and really what the point of adopt a trail work is, not necessarily for trail maintenance, but it's to show the governing entities that we can be responsible for our own play areas. And so it just seems like there's just none of that in the side-by-side communities.
Right.
And so it really comes down to education in the side-by-side communities. And if you guys can find a way to do that without clubs, then kudos. But I think that the club structure works very well and very efficiently for educating and mentorship kind of thing.
Yeah. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it now, but the side-by-side community needs to get their shit together, right? But also the 4x4 community and the side-by-side community need to be able to work together.
100%. Yep.
Right. And so I'm going to throw a challenge out there, even though I have no stakes in this game, because I'm not a club sort of off-roader.
Which is funny because you go off-roading with a lot of clubs, though.
I go off-roading with a lot of people that are in clubs. Yes. So I think that 4x4 clubs should open their door to side-by-sides.
I 100% agree. I know that with Cal 4, the reason why, it was a combination of things, but a big reason why they haven't been able to really open the door to side-by-sides as much was due to insurance. The insurance wouldn't cover side-by-sides with Cal 4. So they were kind of, there was a bunch of old timers that are like, yeah, fuck side-by-sides in the first place.
Right.
But B, they were also handcuffed by the insurance not letting them. Now, though, I think they've got it all figured out with insurance. And they're starting to appeal and look for the side-by-side communities and open the doors and welcome in the side-by-side communities more. But yeah, we need to learn how to work together a little bit better.
Yes. So. For the community's sake, for side-by-sides, and for our trail systems. So.
Yeah. So anyways, just wanted to give that kind of announcement out there and just kind of let you guys know there's some stuff brewing that's going to impact side-by-sides very quickly if something isn't done with the community. So let's see, what else can we get our hands into here?
I don't know. I think it's that time of the episode where we talk about what the heck we've been doing.
Nothing. We've been doing nothing.
That's not true.
That isn't true.
I've been doing nothing.
You've been bubble boy. So.
I haven't been able to do much of anything.
Yeah.
For a while. So I haven't. I wasn't feeling very well. 2, it was hot, so I haven't done much work on Bobcat, which I need to, especially because I've got a few wheeling trips back to back coming up here in a few weeks. So I'm about to pull out the T case again to find out why, because it's making a weird humming noise at higher RPMs, and it doesn't really driving on the street. It doesn't want to stay in the high range in the reduction box. It pops to neutral.
Interesting. Okay.
So there's something there wanting to push that everything forward.
Yeah.
On the trail, it didn't really seem to have a problem.
And your ball detent is in there?
I believe so.
And still pushing through the ball detent? Interesting.
Yeah. And I put heavier springs in it.
Huh.
So
in the ball detent, you put heavier springs in the ball detent?
The ball.
The shaft there that holds the ball in there?
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, Marlin Crawler sells heavier springs.
Yeah, clever.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I just use a rope.
Yeah. Well, I've considered...
Just tie the shifter and snap, but like create a little snapping thing that just snaps in and holds the shifter.
I thought about it. That holds it backwards.
Yeah.
Or holds it into high range. I thought about it because mainly one of the reasons is because we're going to be going wheeling back to back to back, and I'm considering not even taking Clifford, just driving Bobcat to everywhere, and I don't want to drive it on the road if I'm literally having to hold that shifter into place everywhere I go.
Yeah.
For like hours on the road.
Yeah.
So I don't, so I'm going to probably rip the T-case back out and open up the reduction box, separate the T-case and the reduction box and see
if anything looks weird.
Yeah. If anything looks weird, if anything's rubbing weirdly, if something's pushing it, why is it pushing it forward? I do know that it was really difficult to get that shift lever in.
Yeah, mine was too.
So I don't know if it's just binding up somewhere, You
would think if it bound up, then it wouldn't move.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. So
weird.
anyways, I need to open that up. I'm probably going to do it on Wednesday. Yesterday in podcast land.
Yeah.
And pull that apart and possibly look at it. So
that,
and I need to go through and button up and probably add another new hydraulic line on my power steering, since I busted one of the lines on our Rubicon run with the listeners. Those lines are like 10 years old. So I was like, well, I had a spare line. So I figured, well, I might as well replace the other one.
Yeah.
Since it's, since that one blew, the other one's probably going to blow soon.
Yeah.
So
I was impressed that your lines lasted as long as they did, because you had wear marks on the hose from where the hose is rubbing on your frame or on your pitman arm.
Yeah.
And so I was like looking at those like 2 to 3 years ago, and I was like, how have these not blown through? And then they lasted another 2 to 3 years. I was like, that's impressive.
Yeah. Then rubbing on the pit, I literally set my one of the hydraulic lines on top of the pitman arm.
Yeah.
Which everybody's like, that's crazy. Why would you do that? And I'm like, it's been doing it for
10 years.
10 years before it blew. And it didn't blow there at the pitman arm. It blew further down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It blew like under the oil pan, like
interesting.
Right, like a little ways up from where it connected.
Wow.
I think I came down on something pretty hard and it got pinched.
Gotcha.
On between my tie rod and drag link. Because they're so close together that because it was rotating
afterwards when you saw that.
Yeah. Cause I didn't notice that the one of my jam nuts was loose. And so the whole bar was rotating. So I think
check your nuts.
Yep. Check your nuts. So I think I think it rotated forward. I came down on something, everything compressed, and it pinched between my drag link and tie rod.
That would make sense.
And, and popped it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, cool. Hopefully that all goes good. I'm interested to see if you figure out what that is, or if you can figure out why the shift rail was hard to put in.
Yeah. Well, maybe next Thursday, I'll have an update for you guys, because it should be, hopefully it's done by then, because I think I'm supposed to be out wheeling already, or I will be out on the Rubicon that week.
Are you are you trying to make it out to the trail maintenance stuff at all?
For slow cannon crawlers?
No, for Mad Hatters and Highlanders.
When's that?
This weekend?
No, I won't make it.
Okay. That's what I'm trying to make out for.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe. I mean,
if you get it together. So Barrett Lake is on Friday. Doing the trail maintenance. There's about 20 trees down in the trail that they need to cut out. And then the goal is to have Barrett Lake open Monday, August 1st.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So Barrett Lake will be open August 1st, but we're starting to hit fire restrictions now. So I sincerely think that Barrett Lake will be closed by first or second week of September.
Dang.
Would be my guess.
Okay.
If they keep going the way they have been going with fire restrictions the past couple of years. So get your trips in quick.
Yeah.
So there's that. Let's see. So that's Friday. Saturday is the Rubicon maintenance with the Mad Hatters that I kind of oversee. And that's, going to be going on all day Saturday. So I need to get Kermit back up and running. And so far on the to-do list, I need to get the rear drive shaft back up in the rig and check the pinion angle. And then I need to finish the electrical. I still haven't finished redoing all the leads into the batteries. And then if I can, recharge the air conditioning, but I don't think that's going to get done by this weekend. Yeah.
Well, and you just did a lot of work on that Crossmember too.
I did, yeah, and because I decided, I'm building a brand new drive shaft. The whole thing is brand new.
Right.
Might as well do it right this time. And so I put a CV on it. We talked about that story and talking with Mike over at SAC Driveline. And turns out Mike actually owns partsmike.com, which is a parts dealer up in Auburn, but they are like one of the go-to parts dealers for Dana axles.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah. And they've been around for a very long time, I guess mid-90s, something like that.
Yeah.
And so he now oversees that, and he's also owns Predator Auto Parts.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, up in Auburn. And he just bought and picked up a SAC Driveline last year, I guess.
Oh, well, dang. Okay.
So, and he was the axle builder for the Gomez brothers for a while and Cody Addington for a while. So he's been around for a while. He definitely knows his stuff. I was talking with him. I ended up going down there to, when I was talking to him about the CV and putting the CV on the drive shaft, we ended up talking about my axles that I'm building. And he goes, that's a pretty bitchin' axle setup. He started asking, what are you doing for this? What are you doing for that? What are you doing? We ended up talking for like 40 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
About my axle setup. So it was fun. He knows parts. He knows what goes together. He knows how to build stuff and everything. So he's a really interesting guy. And we're going to get him on the podcast here in the near future to talk. Probably we're going to end up talking about axles. I wanted to talk about drive shafts because I feel like drive shafts are one of those things kind of like differentials in the off-roading world that like it's a big unknown. People don't really know what you're supposed to do with drive shafts and when you need to be running a CV versus when two U-joints is okay versus when you need to be running a carrier bearing versus, what are the angles you need? Like what are the limits of U-joints that you need on drive shafts? And so it seems like people just kind of take measurements and send it off to Tom Woods and Tom Woods builds a drive shaft, sends it to people. So I'd like to get him on to really go through and explain drive shafts.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So anyways, I got the drive shaft this morning. So I've had the CV put on and then I took it home and put it on the rig and clearance to that Crossmember there because the Crossmember was in the way. And I was like, man, am I going to have to cut this whole Crossmember out and redo the whole thing? Or can I just kind of cut out the center section of it and then, put some like tubing underneath it to connect the Crossmember so everything is structurally sound again? I wasn't sure what I was going to have to do. And I'm holding up the CV to it. I only didn't need that much clearance. So I was actually able to cut out about half of the vertical distance. Like say the Crossmember is about 3 inches thick. Okay. I was able to cut out about 1.5 inches of it. And then, it's essentially like a square tubing, almost like I don't want to say an I-beam, but it's a square tubing, but the tops and bottoms of it are a lot wider than the walls are apart, right? The vertical walls are apart.
Sure. It's sort of like an I-beam, but it's a square in the middle, not an I.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, cool. So I need to, once I cut out that bottom part of the quote unquote I-beam, I need to remake this structurally sound again. And so what I ended up doing was I cut the slits in the vertical walls and bent them together so that they're essentially triangulated. And it creates in essence the same thing as what a ridge would do, a rib or a bend in metal would do for structure and to keep it from bending, right? And so I did that and then welded the seam up, and I think it's a hold great. So and that only took me it took me longer to sit there and think about everything how I was going to do it than it took to actually do it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
As it should be.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
But I got it all done in a few hours on Sunday morning. And then I passed out for the whole afternoon because I had gotten back at 2:30 a.m. from Big Bear.
Why were you down in Southern California?
So I had to go down to SoCal for Explorers Expo, which is designed and set up as a sprinter van expo or like an overlanding van expo.
Okay.
First year ever doing it. There was about 40 to 45 vendors, something like that. And it was a really, really cool venue that it was done at. It was done at a Sky Camp Park and RV, or Sky Park Camp and RV. I think it's Sky Park Camp and RV. But there's a spot up as you're heading up to Big Bear, maybe 10, 15 miles from Big Bear. You get up the main big grade from the San Bernardino Valley. And one of the first town places you come to has a park in it called Santa's
Little Helper.
No, Sky Park, Santa's Sky Park, something like that. And it's kind of like a day park area for you to go and hang out and do hiking and whatnot. But they opened up an RV and camping area across the street from it, across the highway. And that's where this venue was. And it was really neat because it's like right on the edge of the grade. Like,
yeah, I saw your Instagram story at night and some of the photos. Like, yeah, you're looking out, you're on the mountainside looking out into the valley.
It's like 5,000 feet straight down, pretty much.
Yeah, wow.
4,000 feet straight down into the San Bernardino Valley. During the day, I was kind of like, okay, it's just, it's just striking as to how far down it is. But like, you couldn't really see anything down in the valley because of all the smog from LA. And I was like, that's just gross. I'm glad I'm up here, not down there. But then at nighttime is when all the lights come on down in the San Bernardino Valley. And that was cool being up there.
That was an awesome photo. Just seeing like because if you watched your story, you showed the video of like, here I am. This is a cool view. Here's where I'm parked. And then look at all the smog down below. Yeah. But then the next thing you did was like a picture out of the camper down into the valley. And you just saw like, everything that's going on down there, and it was massive. Like at first you didn't notice it because of all the smog, but then when at night when all the lights came on, you're like, oh, there's a ginormous city down there.
Right? Yeah. So that was really impressive. That was really the highlight of the trip. And then the event kind of dwindled down and ended a little earlier than they were anticipating. And so I was looking at my watch at like 2 p.m. on Saturday, and I was like, I might be able to make it home before midnight. Right. If I really push this, I might be able to do this. And so I tried to get out of the event there quick, packed up really quick and got out. And I ended up getting home at like 2 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long haul.
It was a long haul. I had to stop a couple of times. I stopped in Santa Nella to like wake up because I was starting to pass out, and I was like, I'm just going to camp here for the night. I got the trailer, just hop into the trailer and camp. But then after walking around the rig for a couple times and getting some coffee, I was like, okay, I can finish the last 2 hours to go home. But yeah, I made it home at 2 a.m. And then that gave me time to work on Kermit Sunday rather than driving home Sunday. Which then also made me pass out in the afternoon, which is fine because it was really hot outside anyways.
Yeah, it was. It's been scorchers this last week. I think this current week we're at mid to high 90s and everybody's like, yay.
I know. I don't want to say it was a record. I don't know if it was a record, but we had like 15, 16 days in a row of 100 to 110 degree weather.
Yeah.
100, I think it got up to 108 one of the days.
Right. But I was gone most of it, so it was great.
Yeah. Lucky you.
Yes.
So anyways, I did that. I think the Crossmember is all clearanced up. It's good to go. I put the Driveshaft on and realized that the Driveshaft was too short.
Oh.
And I was like, well, that sucks. Like splines were showing in the Driveshaft, which means I only had like 1 inch to 1.5 inches of splines that were engaged to hold the Driveshaft together and make it operate. And I was like, I don't think that's good.
No.
And so but I was like, did they build it too short when they cut it for the CV? And so I was like, And so I pulled the Driveshaft off and I texted Mike and I was like, hey, Mike, just FYI, I don't think this is good. What do you think? And he goes, yeah, that's not good. Bring it on back and we'll take a look at it. And so I brought it back. I took my old Driveshaft with me and we compared it and took measurements of everything, and everything's correct according to my old Driveshaft. They built it identical.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so he goes, I mean, was your old one showing splines like this? And I was like, I don't think so, but I never noticed it. I feel like that's something I would have noticed, but it's definitely the same length as my old drive shaft. Everything is the same. And so I was like, I want to fix this now. I'm putting in a new drive shaft. I've already spent some good money on it because we had to build it twice.
Right.
So I want to make sure that it's right now. What would you recommend for spline engagement? And he goes, let's get you to at least 2 to 3 inches of spline engagement. We want to see that much. And so he set it up actually for about 3.5 inches.
Oh, wow.
Of spline engagement. They retubed it, made it longer. So I've got about 3.5 to 4 inches now of spline engagement, and he did it for free.
Oh, nice.
Like I was totally expecting to go in and pick it up and pay him because they're doing work on it to retube it. And it's my fault. I brought in the bad template and I'm making the decision to make it longer. Sure. Right. And I was like, cool, let me pay. I was like, how much do I owe you? And they're like, it says no charge per MC hammer. And I was like, is that Mike? And they're all, yeah, that MC is Mike. And we all call him the hammer because he's the owner. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And so I was like, no, I need to pay for this. Like you guys did work. It's my fault. I brought you the bad template. And so they're like, they said, Mike's not here for us to ask him about it. So just take it. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I walked out and I immediately texted Mike. I was like, hey, Mike, did you mean to do that no charge? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, you didn't have to. Like, I brought you in a blah, blah. And I was like, all right, I owe you some beers when we sit down and record for a podcast and get you on here. So anyways, shout out to Mike and Sack Driveline for doing that. But hopefully I've got a good drive shaft. Everything looks great on it now. I just need to get it under the rig and measure the angle, the pinion angle now, and hope that I'm close enough where I don't have to cut off the perches and re-weld them on, because that's not happening before this weekend.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what angle the dangle you got going on back there. So, and we'll find out.
We'll find out. So. Because the way that the perches are set up is for a double cardan, a CV joint. Because that's the axle that was under the first gen 4Runner and it was running a CV. So, I would assume it's going to be pretty close, but I don't know.
I wonder if from the output of the T case to your axle is longer in the second gen.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because that would change the angle.
It would. I definitely have more lift on, I don't know if I have more lift. I don't think I have more lift on the second gen because the body lift doesn't matter on the first gen. I think I was running the 9-inch shackles on the first gen.
Dang. That's pretty massive.
Yeah, it is, buddy. No, so I think I'm running the same amount of lift on the first gen as the second gen. I just don't have a body lift on the second gen.
Yeah, but body lift wouldn't change.
It wouldn't impact the drive shaft angle, yeah. So I should be pretty damn close.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
But we'll see.
I found there's actually a flat spot right on the top of the third member that looks fairly parallel, pretty damn parallel to what the pinion would be.
Yeah.
So that's when I did all my measuring. I just did it from there.
Yeah, and that's what I'll be doing too, is I'll be taking measurements of the top of the third member as well as the flange surface, because I have that magnetic digital angle finder. So I can figure out the angle of the drive shaft, the angle of the pinion, and I'll use the flange surface and the top of the third member to figure that out.
Yeah.
So anyways.
And then the angle of the drive shaft.
And then, yeah, exactly. So, that's all set and pretty much ready to go. I just need to pull the wedges out of the perches, since I'm running a CV now. So, and then see what that's at. The other project is the electrical.
No, not wedges. Well, you said perches, but it's more the wedges are on through the center pin on the, are they the spring perches there? I guess that is.
They're between the spring perches and the leaf springs right now.
Yeah. And you turned yours around to angle the pinion downwards to make it more parallel before. So now you either need to spin them around and get more angle or remove them completely, depending on what you got going.
Yeah. I'll see which one gives me the closest angle to the drive shaft for this weekend. So, so I got that going on. Then I'm also doing the electrical. Which is a good thing I'm going through. The big issue with setting up my batteries where I put them is that there's a lot of water intrusion during snow wheeling season.
Well, even if it's a wet road.
Yeah, but I'm not usually out wheeling too much in wet environments. It's usually the snow wheeling that gets it, right? Or water crossings.
Right. But I mean, just driving down here today, the freeway was wet enough that water was spraying up a little bit.
Yeah, but I drove the F-150.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, if you drove the 4Runner on a random fluke rainstorm, you can get water intrusion.
Yes, but I wouldn't be. So that's my point, is that for what I use the 4Runner for, it's mainly the snow wheeling. If it's raining outside around town, I'm driving the F-150. I'm not going to drive the 4Runner.
Sure.
So, anyways, water intrusion is a big issue. And after 2.5 years of having the batteries set up that way, God, has it been 3 years now? Coming up, it's almost 3 years. So anyways, of having the batteries set up, I started finally having electrical issues. And they showed themselves on the snail trail trip on the Rubicon. Mm-hmm. So now I'm like, okay, let's go through and redo all the fuses, because it seems like all the fused connections are where I'm getting the water intrusion at on the wires and starting to get corrosion on the wires. So I'm redoing all those, and I've got a couple of Blue Sea Systems Midi fuse boxes that are watertight. And so the fuses are all up, protected from any water intrusion whatsoever. And it's just stud connections for the wires to connect into the fuse box. So that'll get the wires up further. It gets them up another foot up into the body, and the tub there. So that'll be nice to have all the electrical wires there. And then I just have a couple of big, gauge wires coming down from the boxes into the batteries.
Right.
So I was doing that, and that's all coming along really good. I'm almost done. I should be able to finish that up today. But while I was doing that, I started looking over all the electrical connections down there, right? And my winch ground is like fully corroded and gone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Dang. It was impressive. I should have taken a picture of it. I'll see if I can get one when I go and redo it. But it's a 4-aught cable that I used for the winch ground to go to the battery, and for some reason, just water intrusion really got in there between the ring terminal and the cable, like a lot, and it's like not even connected to the ring terminal anymore.
Wow.
There was just a couple of strands, and I was like, "How is my winch even working?" I'm amazed. I don't know how so I've got to redo all that too. So I had to go down this morning and buy some 4-aught ring terminals, which are fucking big fat things.
Yeah, they are.
And so that'll be the last kind of piece of the puzzle, and I'll put everything back together. But I got special heat shrink tubing that has adhesive inside of it now for everything. And I redid all the ring terminals on all the lines coming to the fuse boxes, and heat shrink tubed it with the adhesive. So in theory, the only metal parts now showing are going to be the ring terminals. There's no cable showing whatsoever. Shouldn't be any way for water intrusion to get into the cables. So we'll see how longer this solution lasts.
Yeah. Yeah. See if it'll go another 3+ years.
Mm-hmm, right. If I get 5 years out of it, I'll be like, cool, we did it good.
Yay.
But I'm going to redo all my battery setup before then. So D-Mill will like to hear that.
Will he?
Yeah.
Why? He doesn't like it?
No, we're just talking about the rear suspension.
Oh.
And he's like, yeah, leaf springs are suck. Yeah. He's like getting on me about the leaf springs. I'm like, I'm going to do the front suspension before the rear, and I want to get the front dialed in because I'm going to do it. And, I want to make sure it's all dialed in before I redo the rear suspension. So I'm going to have leaf springs for a while. And I need to figure out, when I do it, I need to move my gas tank and my battery, essentially switch them, right? Yeah. And put in an F-150 gas tank and move my batteries to where the gas tank is now. And so he's like, yeah, that's what you need to be doing. Just do it all. I'm like, I need time, man.
Right.
So anyways, that's, other than that, I think
see, not to go down a D-Mill train here.
Oh, here we go. I like it. I like D-Mill trains.
Yeah, I'm sure he does too. His wife races.
Yes, she does.
So she's into off-roading.
Yeah.
Our wives aren't so much.
No. Yeah.
Our wives want us home in the afternoons.
Yes, in the evening.
Want us, there for dinner. Want us there to put the kids to bed, which I 100% understand and agree with. After the kid goes to bed, I want to go work on a vehicle.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
No, after the kid goes to bed, then it's a little bit of adult time and bedtime.
Yeah.
And you have to go to bed with the significant other. Yeah.
So for me, it's the only time I have to work on my truck or Samantha is during the day when I'm trying to do other business.
Yeah. We're trying to get work done.
When I'm trying to get work done.
Stuff that pays you. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have the afternoon hours at this point in time.
Same. That's kind of what I've been trying to wake up at 6 a.m. and go work on the rig until 8 a.m. each morning. Just 2 hours here and there. And then, my time to work on the rig in the past was weekends. But with the event schedule I set up for Morphlate, I'm working, every day during the week and on the weekends right now. So I'm working 7 days a week and there's no time to work on the rig right now. So.
Right. Yeah. And that's part of the problem I'm running into.
So anyways, Derek. It must be nice to have time to work on your vehicle, Derek.
He said in listening to the Toyota Garage podcast that he hasn't worked on his rig in a long time. He's been working on his wife's race car. Yeah. Because she did one race.
Because she's a better driver than him?
Yes. She did one race and got fifth.
Shots fired. Yeah.
And got paid. Got a check. Because they pay out to fifth now.
Yep. Well, didn't she race another one and got third, something like that in her class? Second or third in her class?
I'm not sure.
I thought I heard that
was it
on
the Vora race.
I don't remember. I thought I heard it on the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey race reports somewhere that she had got second or third in her class or something. She podiumed in her class.
We should have her on and not Derek.
Yeah, screw Derek. We'll lock him out of the studio and get her over here. Yeah. Oh man, love you, Derek. So, anyways, that's what I got going on with Kermit. I did swap out the AC condenser box, and so that's all in. Everything's tightened down. I just need to recharge the system. The problem, though, is I'm pretty sure when I put the AC compressor in after the 3-4 swap that they set it up with R12 refrigerant, which means the oil in the compressor is for R12. But I'm not for certain. I don't know how to figure that out without taking it back to the shop that set it up, but I don't want to take it back to that shop because I specifically asked for R134 and they set it up with R12. I think that's this compressor that's in there. So I'm like, I don't want to take it back to them anymore. Yeah. I have this thing against shops not doing what I'm asking right now. And so I don't want to give them any more business, but I'm like, I don't know how to figure it out. So that's my conundrum right now. And if it is R12, I don't know how to get R12. Right. The only place I think that has it is Texas. Really? So I'm not sure how to get R12 into California because it's illegal to have R12 now in California. So I don't know. I'm kind of like, don't know.
Does the oil and the Freon have to match?
They do. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So I can't just go and get some R134, put it in. If I do, then I might seize my compressor and then I need to get a new compressor if the oil is set up for the R12. So I'm like, I'm kind of stuck right now. And granted, I haven't done a lot of Googling yet to try and figure it out, but that's my current conundrum with the air conditioning.
Yeah. I still need to figure out what the heck's going on with Clifford's.
Yeah.
I think it just has a small hole somewhere.
Yeah, probably. So anyways, that's all I got, man.
Sounds good.
Yep.
It's, I haven't been doing much of anything since I've been Bubble Boy, but I'm excited to get back out in this world.
I know.
And do something.
I was thinking about it the other day and I was really depressed. Usually by this time in the summer, I've done 10 to 15 off-road trips. Yeah. I don't think I've done an off-road trip for pleasure yet. Just relaxing for my own pleasure.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think this summer I've only done 2 off-road trips so far. And I've been on one camping trip to Gold Lake, which was kind of pleasure. I didn't have any responsibilities, so that was nice. But I haven't got to do any rock crawling.
Yeah, I was going to say that's off-roading.
Yeah, I know. It is off-roading.
You put your vehicle in 4 low.
I did. And I turned on the e-locker.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't air down. So is it really off-roading if you don't have to air down?
Yes.
Okay. It's off pavement.
Yeah. I think I still need to give you coordinates. So when I went out, we found a waterfall on Google and we tried to go to it. Didn't quite make it. Yeah. We were close. We hiked to the top of it.
Okay.
And we wanted to hike to the bottom to hide a puck. And there was no obvious way down from the top. So we started skirting the cliff. And we just more or less got back to the truck. And so then we drove down to the bottom and started to drive up this trail that hasn't been driven in a long time. And it was just getting too narrow for Charlotte. I didn't want to scratch everything up.
Yeah.
So I backed out of that, but I was in 4-low and an e-locker and didn't air down on that trip. So.
Okay.
And I considered
you did some off-roading? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take that.
So I need to give you those coordinates so Trevor can go find another puck.
He said that one of the Bassey Falls pucks is missing.
He couldn't find it.
He couldn't find it. So we need to, I think, make a trip up to Bassey at some point and
confirm.
See if you can find it. Yeah.
Yeah. I know right where it should be. So we'll see.
Yeah. Cool. All right, man. So
I guess I'm just too good at hiding them.
You really are. Like the one, what was that down in?
The one in
Highway
Columbia?
4? Yeah, Columbia. Yeah.
The first one.
That was the very first puck.
Very first puck. I don't know how many people went down there to try to find it and couldn't find it.
Quite a few. Yeah.
And then I went down there and confirmed it was there.
Yeah.
And then a few weeks later, somebody found it.
Yep.
But I hide them good.
You do.
You got to find it.
Yeah. So, there's a bunch in Moab right now. So if anybody's heading out to Moab soon.
There's 6?
At least. Yeah. Because the other ones we hid a year ago never got found either in Moab. So, there's a good number of pucks in Moab right now. So go check those out if you're heading to Moab soon. Let's see. Oh, I did get a new hole saw, so we can start cranking out some pucks again.
Yeah, I would. I'm curious about figuring that out. So I think that's a good idea.
Yep.
A hole saw usually punches a hole in the middle of the puck.
I know. I was going to cut it off essentially. So take it apart, take the arbor apart. And
you usually can just pull the bit out.
Oh, there you go.
In the middle.
Yeah, I haven't
But the point of that is to keep everything centered.
Yeah.
So it might be fun to do some hole saws without that center alignment set up.
Why would you need to center it?
Well, I'm just saying that the bit usually drills through or into the wood first, and then it keeps the hole saw in a spot, in a certain location.
Why wouldn't it stay in a location?
Because if you try and start without the bit, it wants to spin itself around in big circles. It doesn't want to. You'd have to be very very soft at the start to make the grooves that it would hold itself into for the hole saw.
I was going to use a drill press.
That'll work too. Okay. I was thinking of I
was like, handheld. That's not going to move around.
Nope, that'll do it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, cool. I'm glad we got it. So,
so pop those out and let's laser some more up.
Essentially, I was thinking we can pop those out, and then from the cutouts, we would have the jig then to put in the lasers, and then we can create the design from there and laser up 15, 20 pucks at a time. So
yeah.
Anyways, cool, man. Yeah, we'll start cranking some of those out. We need to figure out the process and then get it rolling. If you're coming out to Sierra Trek, there's a couple of really cool items that are going to be auctioned off in regards to wood and lasers. If anybody has been following along with the podcast and knows what we're doing with wood rounds and lasers, come on out to Sierra Trek. You're going to want to be there if you're interested in looking to get some really cool lasered wood. That's all I'm going to say. Items. So, come out to Sierra Trek. We're going to have a new design made for Fordyce. So that's going to be out there, and we're going to have one of the big sluice tree rounds out there for Cal 4. So since Sierra Trek is first and foremost a fundraiser, we put together some extra fundraising opportunities for Cal 4. And the designs are I'm really happy with the way that they're all coming out on these rounds. They're pretty cool. So
yeah, they look good.
Yeah. And with that, I made another round for Corva that we said we were going to be doing for the show here for the podcast. Yep. So that's all set and ready to go. We just need to figure out how we want to process it, I guess. Or sure. Not process the round, but process the fundraiser. So whether we want it to be a raffle where you're buying a ticket or buying tickets for it, entries to the raffle, or how we want to do that. So, hey, Brian Murphy just got back to me. Man, that took a while, Brian. Get on your shit, man. Super producer, Brian Murphy, everybody. Yeah, we got the giveaway squared away and figured out for August here. So we are super pumped. I'm super pumped. I know about that. I don't know about Jimmy over here, but he's gone quiet on me. Jimmy? Okay, whatever. So, yeah, we are giving away an affordable bender and one die. So, super cool giveaway for the month of August. Tom over at Affordable Bender has been really cool. Chatting with him about different ideas and stuff. And yeah, he came down and was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do a giveaway for August. So looking to get Tom over on the podcast here in the second half of the month. So keep your ear holes open to hear from Tom about benders and bending tube and kind of what goes into that. But if you haven't checked out Affordable Bender yet, definitely go check it out. It's a really cool setup. It's a vertical bender, which is really nice. It comes with an 8-ton bottle jack and one die of your choice. But what's really cool is the footprint that it comes in. It's a tiny ass little footprint for a bender. And it's super, super affordable. There are like $400, $399 for the bender, the bottle jack, and one die of your choice. So pretty freaking cool what he's doing there with a vertical bender for $399 and a die of your choice. That's pretty cool. I ended up getting the 2-die option. So I got a bender with a 1-inch die and a 1 3/4 inch die for myself. I ended up buying. So while I was there making that purchase, I was like, hey, Tom, just chatting about different stuff, having a good time, and brought up the podcast. And so he's all in for a giveaway. So super cool. $400 value this month for an affordable bender. If you guys want to get in on that, make sure you head over to irate4x4.com and sign up under the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast forum. Once you open up the Snail Trail 4x4 forum, all your payment options will be on the right-hand side there on computers or down at the bottom for mobile devices. So check that out. If you want to get in for the affordable bender, head over to Irate 4x4 and sign up. That's all you got to do. And you got to do it before the end of August. So we need to see that sign up by August 30th. And so, yeah, that does it. Super cool giveaway this month. Thank you, Tom at Affordable Bender. We'll get him on the podcast here soon. So, yeah, that's all I got. I'm done.
Sounds good.
Done. Let's wrap it up.
All right.
How can people get a hold of us?
Yeah, you can phone in area code 916-345-4744.
That's it.
Man, it's been a while since I said that.
Yeah.
You can email us, Jimmy or Tyler, at snailtrail4x4.com. You can find me on Instagram, snailtrail4x4. You can find Tyler over at 4x4 Toyota Tyler.
Yeah. Sounds good, man.
And if you want our complaint line.
Yes, that's the important one.
It's 800...
no,
it's not.
That's the second set.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what's their area code?
San Jose.
I don't know what it is.
408-800-5169. That's it.
Got it.
Yep. So that's the complaint line. If you guys have any complaints about Snail Trail 4x4 podcast, I believe they also have a winner for
the egg.
What was it? The Easter egg. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I believe they do.
So I don't know if that's being announced on the next episode or not, but they have a winner for the Easter egg. So if you guys called into our complaint line and helped with that Easter egg, the winner will be announced soon.
Okay.
I believe the next episode of Winter Whiskey. So keep your ears open. Might have come out today. You can check that.
Their episode had yet to come out when I drove down here.
What? Slackers.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? How dare you release an episode late?
Yeah, exactly.
Oops.
They, I know that Chris has been, it's out now.
Okay.
Oh, what? It said it was out 10 hours ago. So for some reason it didn't update on my Google podcast, which usually takes a little longer.
Yeah.
So it's out. It's out.
Okay. Cool. I take it back then. Good job, guys.
Slackers.
Slackers. All right. So with that, Jimmy, do you have any final words for everybody out there?
Put your fires out.
Abu Dhabi do. And with that, my friends, keep crawling.
You have one?
I do.
You got one.
I have one.
You have a dad joke.
I do.
Wow.
So did you know that the people of Dubai don't like the Flintstones?
I know this one.
It's really sad because the people of Abu Dhabi do.
I was trying to remember it. The people of Abu Dhabi do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yabba dabba do. Good one.
Thank you.
Good one.
I laughed way too hard when I saw that. Well, welcome all to the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun at Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how fantastic drive shafts are in Toyotas, excuse me, this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Fine, let me start over. I was holding that burp in the whole time. I was like, I can't let it out. Oh, welcome all. I can't do this now. This is like Ryan on the camera.